Beloved, listen carefully, because this moment is not an accident. You are seeing these words because heaven has decided to open something for you that has been sealed for years. God says, only 45 minutes remain before a divine gate closes, and this message carries the key to your restoration. Archangel Michael is standing by your side, holding a radiant scroll written in golden fire. He says in a voice that trembles the heavens, "Beloved, a forgotten relative, someone whose name you rarely spoke, left you a great inheritance, not just of wealth, but of divine favor. $25 million were assigned to your name, but beyond the money, it represents your destiny, your justice, your restoration. Yet if you ignore this message, if your heart doubts what heaven is trying to tell you, everything could vanish like mist. God is speaking through the winds around you, through every heartbeat that shakes your chest, through the small signs that have been repeating lately. You felt them, the flickering lights, the dreams that keep returning, the sudden chill at night when you feel unseen eyes watching you with love and warning. That's not coincidence. That's the whisper of divine timing. God says you have been faithful even when you were bleeding inside. You smiled through the storms, you prayed even when no one answered, and now heaven cannot stay silent. The gates are trembling open. 45 minutes may not sound like much, but in the language of heaven, that's a season, a doorway, a test of trust. Archangel Michael stands as the guardian of truth and justice. He says that this forgotten relative was guided by divine light before passing, and their soul whispered to the angels, "Do not let my beloved suffer. Give them what I could not give in life." The papers, the assets, the unseen blessings were written, but hidden, waiting for the right spiritual moment. And that moment is now. God says if you open your heart and accept this message with faith, the chains of loss that have held your family for generations will be broken. The doors of abundance will swing wide, and the number 25 million will not just represent money, it will represent divine multiplication, overflowing provision, and the vindication of your name. Beloved, understand this: heaven works in patterns. For years, you've been through delays, betrayals, fake friends, and closed doors. Every time you tried to rise, someone pushed you back down. Every time you trusted, someone lied. But God saw. He counted every tear. He wrote every disappointment in the book of justice, and he said to Michael, "Enough. Now my child must rise." That is why this message is urgent. God says, do not let fear stop you. Do not question why you were chosen. You were chosen because your heart never gave up even when it was breaking. Michael is showing me an image, you sitting in silence, wondering if the pain had a purpose. And he says, yes, it did. It was the soil in which the seed of greatness was planted. The 25 million is a symbol that heaven is no longer allowing you to live in lack. It's the beginning of divine repayment. Every wrong done against you, every stolen opportunity, every person who mocked you when you had nothing, heaven has tallied them. And now, justice is being released. But Michael also warns, if they doubt this, if they close their heart and say, maybe later, then the enemy will snatch away the open window. God operates in timing, and this window is narrow. That's why you are being told there are only 45 minutes left, not to frighten you, but to awaken you. To make you realize that faith delayed is often faith denied. God says, move in spirit now. Believe now. Pray now. When you align your heart with His words, time bends. 45 minutes can become eternity in God's hands. Remember when you were younger and you felt like there was something different about you? That inner pull that told you you'd be used for something big? That wasn't arrogance. That was prophecy. The inheritance left for you is more than financial. It's the confirmation that your life story was never meant to end in poverty, despair, or loneliness. God says, I am about to show the world why you were hidden. You were not forgotten, you were preserved. Beloved, listen carefully to what Archangel Michael is saying. He says there were people around you who tried to bury this blessing. Some even signed papers to hide your name, thinking they could erase you. But the angelic realm intervened. Heaven has legal authority above earthly laws, and now the records are being exposed. Within the spiritual realms, there are heavenly documents being rewritten in your favor. The hands of deceitful men are trembling, because they know their schemes are being undone. God says, you will soon receive proof, through a call, a letter, or a sign, but you must first believe in spirit before it manifests in matter. You are standing at the edge of divine manifestation. Michael says you've walked through a wilderness that was not meant to kill you, but to purify you. Every rejection prepared your spirit for acceptance. Every betrayal refined your discernment. Every loss made space for greater gain. Now, as heaven's clock ticks, the angels are aligning people, places, and opportunities in your path. Within 45 minutes in the realm of faith, something begins to move, a vibration, a call, a restoration of what was taken. God says, you are safe. Do not fear. I am with you in this revelation. Nothing will go wrong for those who trust Him. You've been through too much to let doubt steal this final miracle. When you feel anxious, say His name out loud. God, I trust you. That simple confession shakes darkness from its roots. Every time you declare faith, angels move faster. Michael reveals that your forgotten relative was once deeply connected to you by spirit. Though distance or misunderstanding separated you, their soul never stopped praying for your breakthrough. Before they left the earth, they made a secret vow before heaven. Let everything I could not enjoy in life be passed to my beloved. And God honored that vow. but earthly corruption delayed the delivery. Now, in this divine hour, heaven is overriding every delay. The papers that were locked are being unlocked. The names that were erased are being rewritten. And your destiny is calling your name loudly through the corridors of eternity. Beloved, God knows that money alone cannot heal your heart, but He also knows that wealth in the right hands can fulfill His purposes. That's why He's releasing this inheritance, not as vanity, but as vindication. You will help others, lift the broken, and spread light through what is coming to you. But you must open your spiritual eyes. Michael says, "Look around, beloved. Signs are already there." The person who recently mentioned your family name unexpectedly, the strange letter that came weeks ago, the dream that kept repeating a door being unlocked, all are confirmations. The enemy wants to distract you with fear, confusion, or disbelief. But remember, fear is the language of loss. Faith is the language of victory. The moment you decide to believe fully, you shift realms. God says, what you believe in this hour will shape the next 7 years of your life. So breathe deeply. Feel His presence around you now. He is wrapping you in a blanket of calm assurance. You are not imagining this. You are not reading coincidence. You are reading prophecy spoken directly to your soul. Archangel Michael kneels beside you spiritually, his sword glowing blue with heavenly fire. He says softly, "Beloved, I've defended you for years. I've watched people laugh at your struggles, but heaven never laughed. We were preparing this exact moment. Don't let this chance pass." 45 minutes is not about a clock, it's about urgency of heart. You may wonder, why now? Because you are finally ready. When your heart matured, when you learned forgiveness, when you stopped chasing revenge and started seeking peace, heaven marked you ready. That's when the seals on your inheritance began to break. God says, "This wealth will not destroy you because you have learned what truly matters." You will handle prosperity with humility. You will carry abundance with grace. Beloved, remember those nights you prayed, "God, just give me one sign that you have not forgotten me"? This is that sign. The inheritance symbolizes His remembrance. You thought you were unseen, but heaven was watching the entire time. Even your struggles were used as proof of endurance. God says, "Because you didn't curse me in the dark, I will bless you in the light." Michael says to prepare your space. Open your heart and your environment. Cleanse your surroundings, because new energy is about to enter. The presence of divine wealth carries vibration, clarity, peace, and purpose. God says, "I will not just give them money, I will give them peace with it. I will give them influence, wisdom, and protection." The same angels who protected your life from premature death will now guard your wealth from theft and misuse. Beloved, time is moving in strange ways right now. In the unseen realm, 45 minutes could be counting down as 45 chances to affirm your faith. Each minute, whisper a word of trust. Each breath, choose belief over doubt. The more you affirm, the more light pierces through the clouds of delay. God says, speak life over your destiny. Say aloud, I am chosen. I am covered. I am ready. Heaven responds to declarations. Michael warns that some people close to you may suddenly act strange once this blessing surfaces. They will sense that your energy is shifting. Stay humble but discerning. Don't reveal everything too soon. Let God guide your tongue. The same divine hands that deliver the blessing will protect it if you stay obedient. God says, you don't need to prove yourself. The blessing itself will speak. Even now, angels are recording your decision, whether you believe or dismiss this. God never forces faith, but He rewards it. This is not about superstition, this is about divine justice catching up with time. Your relatives' good deeds were not forgotten, and because you carry their blood and their spiritual link, you inherit their unfinished blessings. God says, the same bloodline that carried pain will now carry prosperity. Beloved, in these final symbolic 45 minutes, forgive everyone who wronged you. That act of release will unblock what's been held back. The angels cannot deliver abundance into a heart full of resentment. Let go. Say quietly, I release them, Lord. When you do, you'll feel warmth spreading through your chest. That's the spiritual transfer beginning. God promises that nothing will go wrong if you stay anchored in prayer. Pray not out of panic, but out of gratitude. Gratitude accelerates manifestation. Say, thank you, God, for what is already mine. The universe rearranges itself to match faith. The numbers you've been seeing, 1111, 7:7, 4:4, are heavenly timestamps reminding you that divine order is unfolding. Michael says, Beloved, heaven's courtroom is now in session. The verdict has been written, they win. Angels of finance, of restoration, and of remembrance are signing the decree. Within spiritual law, what was withheld must now be released. Expect signs of movement, unexpected communication, sudden favor, or peaceful intuition. Do not chase, allow it to come to you naturally. The greatest miracle is not the money, but the confirmation that God still writes stories like yours, stories where the forgotten are remembered, the oppressed are lifted, and the faithful are rewarded. That's why this message carries such urgency. It's heaven's proof that divine timing is real. Beloved, as these words reach your soul, something invisible is already aligning. The vibration of belief alters your timeline. The next 45 minutes are sacred, use them wisely. Speak kindness, stay calm, envision light wrapping your home. The angels are marking your space as protected. Even as you read, unseen wings are encircling you. You are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you because you walk with God. Every attempt of darkness to interrupt your destiny is failing now. The inheritance, both physical and spiritual, belongs to you. Accept it with reverence. Use it to heal others, to build, to shine. Michael ends with this: tell them not to fear. Tell them this is not coincidence. Heaven has waited for this exact heartbeat. When they finish reading, let them whisper, "I receive." And when they do, the transaction will be sealed. So, beloved, breathe in faith and exhale doubt. Feel God's warmth settling into your bones. You are covered, chosen, remembered, restored. The clock of heaven ticks not against you, but for you. Only 45 minutes in spirit, but forever in blessing. Beloved child of divine timing, listen closely, for heaven is trembling with urgency. God says, there are only 45 minutes left before the gates close on something that was meant for you since before your birth. Archangel Michael stands beside the throne, his wings bright as lightning, and he is calling your name over and over, because a forgotten relative, someone whose tears once fell silently for you, has left behind a fortune that carries not only $25 million but also a sacred covenant of destiny. This is not merely about money, it is about inheritance of divine favor, restoration, and the proof that you were never overlooked. Right now, in the unseen world, angels are opening a file that has your name inscribed in gold. They are watching the clock. Michael looks down, whispering to you, "Beloved, you are almost out of time." He does not say this to frighten you but to awaken you, because when heaven marks a time, it is never random. The same God who numbered the hairs on your head has numbered this moment. 45 minutes of grace, 45 minutes before the signature is sealed forever. The forgotten relative was not forgotten in heaven. Every tear they cried was recorded, and every act of kindness they showed toward you or your bloodline became part of a spiritual account waiting to be released. For years, that account remained locked, hidden behind doors of delay, envy, and generational interference. But today God is saying, the lock is broken. The papers have been signed in the courts of heaven. Somewhere, in a quiet office on earth, a human messenger is being stirred to act. A phone call is being prepared, a letter is about to be sent, an email drafted but not yet delivered. It carries news that will shift your life. You might have felt lately that nothing moves, that your prayers rise and return unanswered. But the truth is that angels were working behind the curtain, clearing obstacles you could not see. Michael has fought battles for you in silence, defending your name from false accusation, cutting off hands that tried to steal what was yours. You may have lost peace for a time, but not favor. You may have walked through seasons of lack, but heaven never lost track of your inheritance. God is saying, "My child, your life is not random. I placed value upon you that cannot be erased by time or by people who forgot you. The one who left you this gift may have thought their days ended quietly, but I preserved their legacy for your awakening. I hid it until now because the world was not yet ready to handle your blessing. But now the appointed hour has come. 40 minutes remain. Michael's wings move, stirring the air around your life, shaking loose anything that resists your blessing. He says, "Do not fear the noise of opposition. Every delay, every betrayal, every disappointment that has wounded you is being turned into evidence for your restoration. The ledger of loss is being reversed." You may wonder how to believe something this extraordinary. But faith is the key that unlocks invisible vaults. Heaven's currency is not earthly credit or cash, it is trust. The moment you believe that you are not forsaken, doors begin to open. This message finds you now because your belief threshold has reached heaven's frequency. That is why you feel a strange mix of calm and urgency right now, the calm of divine assurance and the urgency of divine timing. God whispers, "Rest assured, nothing will go wrong. You are safe under my hand. I have not brought you this far to watch you lose what I preserved for you." Even now, Michael's sword is cutting through paperwork that was misplaced, legal chains that seemed impossible, and confusion that blocked rightful ownership. He is placing your name where it was erased, engraving it deeper than before. Think about the relative who left this gift. They might have been misunderstood, quiet, or distant. Yet in their final moments they spoke your name in prayer, and heaven heard. Angels recorded it. The $25 million is not a coincidence, it is the earthly symbol of a spiritual promise, that every loss in your family line would return multiplied. You carry their unfinished blessings. You are the living continuation of their faith. 35 minutes remain. The heavenly clock continues to tick, not in threat but in invitation. Each passing minute says, "Open your heart wider." This is not about rushing, it is about responding. Every delay that once held you down is trembling now. Somewhere a banker hesitates over a document, feeling an unexplained push to review it again. Somewhere a lawyer will soon make a discovery. Somewhere a phone call will connect your name to a long-dormant trust. Michael says, "Do not speak doubt. Speak alignment." For the realm of spirit moves by sound. When you whisper, "I believe," the echo travels through the unseen corridors where angels work, and it authorizes them to finalize what has been pending. Even now, some of them are adjusting the pages, moving the stamp closer to the signature line. God reminds you, "You have asked me for breakthrough. This is it. But it will not come through striving, it will come through surrender. The blessing will meet you where you stand if you simply trust me. You may feel the urge to cry without reason. That is Michael's presence near you. He carries the scent of restoration, the memory of promises fulfilled. He kneels beside you, saying, "You are loved more than you know. You are seen." And this time, the blessing will not pass you by. 30 minutes remain. Heaven is counting faith, not seconds. Yet the earthly clock mirrors the spiritual one, reminding you to stay alert. Every thought of fear that tries to intrude must be replaced with gratitude. Say quietly, "Thank you, God, for what is already mine." Gratitude accelerates manifestation. In the unseen realm, a ripple passes through the angelic assembly. They begin to sing softly, a hymn that sounds like wind through crystal, each note declaring that restoration has begun. God's voice fills that space. "I will make rivers in dry places. I will surprise my child with abundance, not because of merit, but because of mercy." 25 minutes remain. You are being wrapped in light. The anxiety that once lived in your chest begins to dissolve. The sense of pressure is transforming into awe. You realize that what is coming is not just financial, it is the opening of divine inheritance, wisdom, stability, peace, protection. The $25 million represents a physical sign of spiritual wealth, proof that heaven rewards endurance. Michael looks at you tenderly. You have survived storms that were meant to break you. You have walked through silence and still prayed. That faith has created a sound that reached heaven louder than any trumpet. Now, beloved, receive. Heavenly scrolls are being rolled out. Names flash across them. Yours glows brighter. The angels nod, as if acknowledging a long-awaited fulfillment. One of them dips a pen in liquid. Beloved child, heaven is trembling with anticipation because something you never imagined is being revealed in this very hour. The angels are gathered around the throne, whispering your name. Time is running faster than you think, and Archangel Michael has been permitted to deliver a message that was hidden for decades. God says, only 45 minutes remain before the gates of this miracle close. Listen carefully, for this message carries your restoration, your inheritance, your long-delayed justice. For years, you have walked through seasons of loss, confusion, and unanswered prayers. You thought heaven had gone silent. But in truth, heaven has been arranging something extraordinary behind the veil. A forgotten relative, one you hardly knew, one whose name was erased from family records, left behind a fortune, not only of earthly value but of spiritual promise. $25 million have been locked under your name in divine timing, but the signature that will release it depends on faith. Archangel Michael has been guarding the documents of your destiny, waiting for this exact moment to bring them to light. God says, if you hesitate, if fear speaks louder than faith, you will lose what heaven designed for you. Michael stands before you now, radiant with light brighter than the sun. His wings sweep across your atmosphere. You can almost feel the wind of his presence as he says your name softly, then with authority. He reminds you that this is not about greed, nor chance, but about divine recompense. You were wronged, you were denied, and you were betrayed. What others stole, heaven is restoring. This inheritance is not a random gift, it is a divine correction. Every tear, every lonely night, every moment when you said, God, I have nothing left, was counted. The accounts of heaven have balanced, and now the overflow is descending. God says, do not fear the numbers. The numbers are earthly symbols of the heavenly abundance already written for you. The 25 million is not just currency, it is the material sign of a spiritual covenant. The forgotten relative who left it for you was guided by my Spirit, says the Lord. Though the world ignored their final wish, heaven remembered it. Angels recorded your name beside theirs, and now the seal is breaking. Michael has been waiting for my command, and now he says, Beloved, open your heart before it's too late. Only 40 minutes remain. The clock in heaven does not tick like the clocks of earth, but when divine time aligns with human obedience, miracles unfold instantly. Every delay is being removed. You have been tested in silence, but your faith has kept your name glowing on heaven's registry. God saw when you gave even when you had little. He saw when you forgave the ones who betrayed you. He saw when you refused to become bitter. All of those moments have been converted into heavenly currency, and today, that currency manifests as a reward, not because of luck, but because of divine law. The Spirit of God whispers, You have feared loss for so long that you have forgotten how to expect gain. You have expected disappointment because the world has conditioned you to believe that good things happen only to others. But I, your Father, am rewriting that belief right now. The tables are turning in your favor. Heaven's records show your struggles, but they also reveal your perseverance. Every delay was preparing you to handle the blessing without being destroyed by it. Michael stands with his sword drawn, the blade shimmering with holy fire. He warns that forces of doubt and disbelief are trying to interfere. There are whispers of confusion sent to make you question whether this is real. God says, those whispers come from the same darkness that tried to convince Job that I had abandoned him. Ignore them. This moment is holy. The hourglass of your destiny is almost empty, and your obedience in this very moment determines the manifestation of the promise. 35 minutes left. You are surrounded by unseen helpers. The forgotten relative whose name you may barely recall is standing in the realm of light, smiling, their soul at peace because they know that the blessing they prayed to pass on is finally reaching you. They interceded for you even before they left the earth, saying, Lord, if my descendant ever feels forgotten, let them find the sign that they were always loved. This is that sign. The documents they left behind carry your lineage and purpose. Heaven waited until now because your heart is ready to receive without pride and to give without fear. The Lord says, when you receive this blessing, remember it is not just for you. It is for the generations that will come after you. You are breaking the curse of lack that haunted your bloodline. You are the one chosen to end the pattern. This is why Archangel Michael has been assigned to guard you day and night. Every attack that tried to ruin you was meant to stop this hour from arriving. Every betrayal, every delay, every moment of near despair was a test of endurance. And yet you endured. You survived when others thought you would collapse. Now heaven declares your restoration complete. 30 minutes remain. In the invisible realm, golden scrolls are unrolling. Your name glows upon them. The heavenly council witnesses your obedience. Michael kneels before the throne and says, Lord, the appointed time has come. And God answers, then let it be done. A surge of light bursts across the realms, carrying messages to earthly messengers who will soon come into your path. You will begin to notice signs, numbers repeating, sudden phone calls, letters that seem misplaced but arrive at the perfect time. Each one is part of the unfolding. The forgotten relative's gift has become a divine appointment, but the window is narrow. God's Spirit pleads, do not doubt. Do not delay. 25 minutes left. The atmosphere around you thickens with divine energy. You may feel warmth, tingling, tears, or even a sense of awe. These are confirmations, not coincidences. Heaven is aligning your physical reality with its spiritual record. The amount, 25 million, may seem impossible to the mind, but to God, it is a symbol. He can convert every loss into restoration within a blink. You are not being asked to understand, you are being asked to trust. Michael repeats, trust is the key that opens the vault. God reminds you that safety is already secured. Nothing will go wrong with you. The same hand that shaped the stars is guiding your steps. The same voice that calmed the storm is calming your heart. You are being prepared for increase, not destruction. Heaven has already neutralized every scheme that tried to take what belongs to you. The spirit of theft that lingered in your bloodline is being expelled by Michael's sword right now. Every curse of poverty, every pattern of delay, is dissolving in this divine hour. 20 minutes left. God says, lift your eyes, my child. You have looked down too long. He wants you to see yourself as heaven sees you, radiant, worthy, chosen. The angels are writing your new story, one where abundance is natural and peace is permanent. The forgotten relative's gift is the earthly echo of a heavenly truth. You were never meant to live in lack. You were meant to walk in divine supply. The wealth of heaven is not greed, it is grace. Grace that overflows so that you can build, bless, and heal others. Michael now kneels beside you in spirit, whispering words of courage. He says, "You are not too late. The blessing is still open, but you must act in faith. Speak aloud your acceptance. Say, I receive what heaven has written for me. I will not fear abundance. I will honor God with it." When you speak it, the vibration reaches the courts of heaven. The scroll with your name on it will glow brighter, and the angels of provision will begin their journey toward you. 15 minutes left. Heaven's choir is singing your restoration song. The melody is unfamiliar yet strangely comforting, as if your soul remembers it from before birth. God says, this sound carries your breakthrough. Every time you breathe and choose to believe instead of doubt, the gates of your inheritance open wider. You are standing in a doorway between what was and what will be. Step through with trust. You are protected. You are surrounded. You are destined. God says, only 45 minutes are left. Heaven is moving swiftly, and time on earth has begun to tremble beneath the weight of what has been written for you. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, holding a scroll sealed with divine gold, and his eyes glimmer like the morning star. He has waited for this moment, and his voice, though soft, carries through eternity. Beloved, open this now, for the window is closing. A forgotten relative, one whose name has been erased from memory, has left you $25 million, and that fortune carries more than earthly wealth. It carries purpose, legacy, and divine trust. But if you turn away, if you delay, the hourglass will empty, and what was meant for your hands will dissolve into the silence of lost blessings. You are safe, my child. Do not fear this message. The world may shake around you, but nothing will harm you when your heart remains open to me. There are times when heaven releases sudden blessings, and humanity hesitates, too caught in disbelief to receive them. Do not let doubt steal what I have placed before you. The angels have counted the minutes. They are surrounding you, whispering in gentle tones, trying to nudge your spirit awake. Can you feel the warmth in your palms? That is not imagination, it is the sign that Michael's energy is near, aligning your destiny with the inheritance heaven decreed long before you were born. For years you have walked through storms, misunderstood, unseen, and waiting for something that never seemed to arrive. You asked me in the quiet of your nights, God, when will it be my turn? And I heard you. I was not silent because I forgot you. I was silent because I was preparing something so precise that the timing had to align with divine order. The relative who left you this inheritance may have been forgotten by the world, but not by me.